I am Theo Padnos, an American journalist. I was held prisoner by Jabhat al-Nosra in Syria for 22 months. I lived through periods of very little food, very cold, and a lot of physical pain because they used electricity and cables and hanged me sometimes by my wrists with the handcuffs. The way that I got out from prison is because the nation of Qatar paid a ransom for me. I knew that Qatar was going to be involved from almost the first week. I should say that I knew they wanted to involve Qatar. I didn't know that Qatar would come to my rescue, but eventually they did. I found this out because they asked me in the very beginning, they said, "Who will pay for you?" America doesn't pay. And I said, maybe a third country will pay. And they said, do you know who that is? I go, no. And they go, maybe Qatar? I go, I hope so, maybe Qatar. But I didn't know anything. That was in the first week of my imprisonment. Maybe almost 2 years later, they said, we need a ransom. Do you think 20 million is too much? And I said, yes. But I know from my own family, they were negotiating at the time with my family. They said, they asked my family for $20 million. My family was in touch with the Qataris because we knew that Qatar helped and that Qatari was negotiating for prisoners. Qatar got me out of prison by paying a ransom to Jabhat al-Nosra. There's no doubt about that. I am grateful on the one hand because I'm alive. But on the other hand, I know that many millions of euros, I'm not sure exactly how many, but more than 10, went to Jabhat al-Nosra because of me. And, there were times when I wanted to remain in prison and not have them have this money because I know what they're doing with this money. They're killing people. They're ruining the hospitals. They're brainwashing the children. It's another generation of terrorism this 10 million euros is going to sponsor, all because of me. Should an entire generation of children be brainwashed because I want to live? Well, I do want to live, but I don't want an entire generation of terrorism. It's terrible. I want to do everything I can to help end Jabhat al-Nosra and ISIS and all the terror because I contributed. So now I have a responsibility to help stop it. So my life has to be dedicated to making peace because I helped the war. That's what I think. How can I make up for the mistake? It's by going back and trying to help people stop Jabhat al-Nosra and ISIS. Help either the Syrian government or the Americans. But I don't trust the Americans because they kill civilians. I don't really trust the Syrian government because the only thing I can do is tell the truth. And the truth, I hope will help people understand the situation. We cannot support any rebel group in Syria because they all are eventually contributing money and weapons to Jabhat al-Nosra. I have to tell my truth, and hopefully that's the way I'm going to put peace and stop the damage that I caused. Thank you. 6 months into my imprisonment in Syria, they said, there are negotiations now. Fi mufawadat. So I said, good. Who are they with? And they said, the Qatari embassy. I was happy, but I was also thinking, why is the Qatar embassy involved in my imprisonment? What do they care? But every day after, not every day, but every week, I heard negotiations, negotiations. Qatar embassy. And, for a year, I heard negotiations, Qatar, negotiations, embassy. I think what happened was that the younger people were very angry at America for our support of Israel and for Iraq and Afghanistan. And they wanted to kill me. The higher up people had relations with Qatar. And they said, no, don't kill him. Meanwhile, the younger people are hitting me and torturing me. But the older people said, don't do that. Stop doing that. Because we want to sell him to Qatar. So this is eventually Qatar came into the picture and they saved my life. by paying millions of dollars for me. You suggest that I should talk about what I heard from the prison cell. Inside the prison, the Jabhat al-Nusra emirs are torturing other people, maybe from Daesh, maybe from Jabhat al-Nusra itself, saying, you took our money from Qatar. And the prisoners are saying, I didn't take it, I didn't take it. But they're fighting over money. And during the interrogation, you hear, it's coming from Qatar. Why did you take it? It's ours. This is what you hear in the interrogation rooms in Jabhat al-Nusra. They're all fighting over money from Qatar. Maybe they think Daesh stole it. Maybe they think the Free Syrian Army. Maybe they think that their own guys stole it. But it's money from Qatar, and one guy should have it. It's Abu Maria al-Qahtani, nobody else. But every once in a while, somebody comes in and takes it. So they have a big argument over who has the money from Qatar. This is what you hear inside the prison. The way that I was released was one day, the chief of Tanzim Jabhat al-Nusra in Syria came into the room in which I was being held. And he said, we are going to send you to your mom. They drove me first to the Jordanian border, and then we took a right. We were driving south into Jordan, towards the border. We took a right towards Israel. The soldiers in my car said, see this ahead, the landscape ahead, the hills? That's Israel. I got out of the car, there was a UN truck there. They put me in the UN truck, and I went into a UN compound, and from the UN compound, I went into Israel. And there are all these Jewish men with long, they call them zinar, like forelocks. Anyway, in Doha, a few months later, the foreign minister of Qatar told me that they had insisted that I be liberated in Israel because they were afraid of terrorists, maybe from Jabhat al-Nusra of Jordan, kidnapping me again. So they said, we don't want any Jordanian terrorists, just send him to Israel, and then he'll be safe. That's what the foreign minister of Qatar told me in Doha. I told the foreign minister of Qatar that every day in the Jabhat al-Nusra prison, they sing, قائدنا بن لادن دمرنا أمريكا بالطيارة مدنية برج التجارة ردا كما ترابينا. I sang this song for him in the foreign ministry. He goes, بهيك الدرجة هؤلاء عن جد هيك بيناشدوا? I said, yes, they really sing like this. He did not know that Jabhat al-Nusra, he did not seem to know that Jabhat al-Nusra, they sing قائدنا بن لادن, but they do every day. دمرنا أمريكا بطيارة مدنية. That is Jabhat al-Nusra. Also, رح نطبع الشيعة بكفرية وفوة. They sing شرطة نصيرية صبرانية علوية بالزبة جيناكم. I sang this to him. He goes, بهيك الدرجة? He did not know what the real Tanzim al-Qaida in Syria is like. Maybe he just thought they're nice men that go around like waving flags and saying Allahu Akbar. But they're worse than that. They're very bloody torturers. They're killing, they kill their own people. They kill civilians. They want to exterminate the Shia in Kafraya wa Fua, kill them, every last one of them, and they want to push the, they say the Christians to Beirut, the Alawis to the grave. مسيحي لا بيروت ونصيرية للقبر. That's what they say. So they really want a war of annihilation. Qatari foreign minister wanted to hear about how I had been treated by Jabhat al-Nusra. And I had the feeling, it was a diplomatic setting, he wanted me to say good things about Jabhat al-Nusra. Well, there were some people that gave me nice food, but for 20 of 22 months, they were torturing me. I was covered in lice. I had very little to eat. I wore the same clothing for the first 7 months. They were covered in blood and lice for 7 months, the same underwear. I never brushed my teeth. I didn't tell him all of these things, but he I have a feeling that he was in contact with people that he liked in Syria, and he felt that these were good and honest people, and he wanted me to tell him that they were good and honest people. But I couldn't, because I saw them killing people. I saw them torturing people. You know, and they take pleasure in this. So I could not give him what he wanted to have. He realized that I had been badly treated. So he felt maybe a tiny little group within Jabhat al-Nusra treated me badly, but the group in general was good. And I couldn't have an argument with him and saying, no, they're all taking their orders from the same person. No, we just had a disagreement. He knew probably that I felt they're all bad. But he felt maybe just one little group within the larger, very good organization was bad. He wanted to apologize for these little guys. But the good, he wanted to say, but most of them are good. And I want to say, no, most of them are bad. I'm not going to have a big argument with him in the middle of his ministry, in the middle of Doha. It's his country, and I'm a guest.